Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are going to make a very special card. I've got a birthday card to make for my 9-year-old granddaughter. And so I thought I would use a variety of things from the new catalogue and the Saleabration. So we are using friendly gnomes, and we're using the little girl gnome, and we're using some squirrels, and we're using the sentiment, wishing you the most magical of birthdays. I think that's lovely for a child. So that's what we're doing for this one. We are using the coordinating gnome dies. Now these dies were in the last catalogue and were carried over. So as I said to you before, if you've got the Kindest Gnomes, which are, let me just get that one out. So that was the Kindest Gnomes, and if you look at them both side by side, you can see that the girl and the girl will cut out with the same die. The this little one with his this one, he had his lantern. This one, he's got a heart, and this one here, which is it's got lots of little flowers and things in, so perfect for springtime. You can mix and match and put them together if you wanted to. You know, it's a lovely, although this one has finished, I know a lot of you got this one. So and the dies coordinate perfectly, so we're using the dies of this. We're also then going to be using some of the alphabet dies. We are going to be using the scallop contour dies, and I'm using that for the border. We're using the Dainty Delights because that gives us all of the lovely flowers and things in there. And we're using some of the Saleabration paper, which is the, let me bring it out. I've been using it so much, but this lovely free paper, which is in, let me just get that one out so you can have a look at it. So it is in the Saleabration catalogue, which runs from until the end of February, so it's live now. And for £45, if you spend £45 on other products, which, showing you the ones that I'm going to, you'll have more than spent that if you wanted to, you get this absolutely delightful paper. And the paper goes with the so this is Dainty Flowers, goes with the Dainty Delight suite. So it's a really good one to get. I will show you the other ones in the catalogue as we go along, but this paper is just I've used so much of it that it's you can see you've got the lovely sort of greens and things in there, and you've got beautiful, beautiful flowers. I'm not going to show it all to you because I've shown it to you several times, but if it's one paper that you want to get, this is the paper to get. I mean, look at this one. This is the one that I think is absolutely lovely. I'm going to do something on this shortly. Cut it in half, cut it down. You've got 6 cards, just put a sentiment on it. You know, it's as easy as that. You don't need a card kit. You've got 6 cards out of one sheet of paper, and it's completely free. So it's one that I would recommend getting because it is something that you will you'll use every single scrap of it. And as I say, I'm working my way through it, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's got in the wrong bit. Let's put it in at the back so it's not sitting in on other pieces. There we go. Okay, so that's the free paper, and it's called Dainty Flowers. So that's the paper. So let's get started with, I have chosen, so we're going to be doing a large birthday card. So I have taken a piece of cardstock, ours is A4, scored it in half, folded it in half, so you have a large card base because we want to make a big card because it's a birthday. I've then taken, and this is one of my biggest tips, when you are doing a mat, cut all your things out of the mat. You are not going to see it. So you can see I've cut a lot of the shapes and things that I need out of this mat. I've done a lot of the cutting and things for you because otherwise it will take too long, because this is a large card. So we're going to stick the mat down, and the mat will not show at all. So, you know, don't waste these pieces. We're, you know, more than ever, we all love our crafts. Our crafts are really important to us. But we need to make sure that we are making the most of everything that we use. So cut out of your mats. Now this is going to give me a 1/4 inch border because that's what I wanted. And as I say, you can do a large card, and you can also not have to waste a huge amount of paper. So that's going to go straight down here on the bottom. And as I say, I can just turn it over that way to flatten it out. And you can see I've cut lots out of it. So this is a piece of designer series paper I'm using. It's got all the pretty little flowers on there, and as I say, it's free. The other side is blue. So as I say, you know, if you wanted the blue side, but I want the flowers because as I say, it's for a little girl. So I'm going to put that down. Now you can see those colours. This is rich raspberry. It's not the exact same colour as this, which is Highland Heather, but you can mix and match colours and put tones in that work well together. And this, I know, by the time we've finished it, will work beautifully together, because I want these flowers as the background, and I want to do everything in the purples, and I'm pulling some rich raspberry in, but that's going to go down on here. Okay, so if you look at that to start off with, you think, oh, I'm not too sure on that. However, I have taken another piece of the paper. Do you remember me showing you the green one? So the other side of this is fresh freesia. So I'm going to put the fresh freesia piece down here on the center. Now I need to actually just take, because I want the border to still show, so I need to take a 1/4 inch off of that, because that's literally just cut out of one strip. So I can take just a 1/4 inch off on here. And then this is going to go, let's put that out of the way. Okay, so that is going to go in down on here. So I want to come on this. Now, do I want it completely centered? I think I do. I think I do want it fairly centered. Now, what I have done as well is I have taken, because I had another scrap, you can see I've cut pieces out of it, but I've used the scallop die. Now, this is the scallop die from the Colour and the Scalloped Contours. So if I show you this one, I know that some of you have got it, but it's a really good one because you've got all of the different coloured borders, but you've got two. You've got this one, which gives a really wavy one, but I didn't have a wide enough piece of paper. And you've got this one that gives you just a little scallop and a dotted border. Can't think of the word of it. It'll come to me. So I thought if I put that in on here and then had this coming in on here, that would work nicely. Again, I need to cut about a 1/4 inch off of this because otherwise it's going to be too much. Now what I might do is I'm going to cut it down to one of the scallops like that. Okay, so that I know can now go down in on here, and then this one is going to come in over there, so it just gives a little bit of a contrast in on there. Okay, so I can do this piece first, so let's just stick that down. And it is slightly shorter now, but I didn't want half a scallop. So I'm just literally just gluing that down. I don't need to glue down the top part, but we can then just put this down where we want at about there. Just take it up a tad. So that gives us just the same little space in between, so it looks as if it's supposed to be like that. And then we'll pop this one in. And this is how you start building up cards in different colours and things. So this can go in. I want it fairly tight, so I don't want too much of it showing. So I'm just going to have just where the dotted part is, or the stitched part. That was the word I was looking for. Stitched. There we go. So that goes in like that on there. Okay, so now we have got, I've taken from the circles, so these are the stitched circles, and I've taken a scallop and I've taken just a plain circle, and that's going to come in down here on the center like that. So I'm going to I need to put this onto here. I'm not putting dimensionals on this because I don't need to have the dimensionals on, because I've got the dimensionals on other things. So I'm going to put this in here so it comes through on the center. And then that's going to come in, and I think I'm going to put that completely on the center. These parts I'm not going to stick down straight away because I need to sort of balance it out. So I have taken from the, let's do the Friendly Gnomes part. So from the Friendly Gnomes, which is, and I'm going to show you in the catalogue so you can see. So the Friendly Gnomes are, there we go. So the Friendly Gnomes are on page 40, and they are £23 for 14 photopolymer stamps, and that is in the mini catalogue. So what I have done is I have taken Wishing You the Most Magical of Birthdays, and I've done this on the stitched rectangles. Again, use shapes and things you've got. But because it's a special birthday card, you can make the most of adding as many layers and things as you want, because the layers will give interest and will give structure. So I'm just going to put these in on here. So these are from the stitched rectangles. And I've just done two. It's quite a big border on that one, but that's fine. So that's going to come in down here on the bottom. And then I've taken from, these are squares. These are retired ones that I've had for quite a while, but I wanted a square on there. You could do circles, but I wanted a combination of circles and squares. I'm sure you've got something that will work. So again, this is the Wishing You the Most Magical of Birthdays from the Friendly Gnomes. So again, this is going to go just in on here. And we'll put this one in on the center. So that comes nicely on the center like that. And then that is going to come in on here. Now this I think I'm going to put up with dimensionals. I'm just going to balance it first, because I wanted to, it's a 9th birthday. So the 9 is going to come, and I'm going to put that up in on here, and I'm putting it centered. So it's coming down in here, but we're going to have a lot of interest coming round. So I can put this, is where I'm going to roughly do it. Now I'm going to take from, let's put this in on here. We're now going to take from the, let's go through on here so I can show you the next one. That's what I said. When you start buying things, make sure you use them lots. So this is my, I think it's going to be my favourite for a long time, Dainty Delight bundle. Now the bundle is the stamp set and the dies. Now I'm going to use the stamps. I haven't used it yet. I've used a couple of the sentiments, but I haven't used it yet. But it's beautiful. It's very dainty. It's very tiny. It's just lovely. But the dies, the Dainty Delight dies, and if you wanted the dies just on their own, they're £34, and you've got 16 dies. If you buy it as a bundle, it's £52 because you get a 10% discount by buying them together. So I think it's worth buying them. It's always nice, I think. This is quite a difficult shape to fussy cut out. But if you use the die, it's very easy to do it. So let me just show you the dies. They are absolutely beautiful. You know, sometimes there are dies that they do and you turn around and go, I have to have this. No qualms at all. It was just immediate. So you have got all of these beautiful shapes. So you've got these leaves, you've got different flowers and things. All of these are just different shapes that you can build up. Beautiful little flowers. This is what we're using. And then if you take the other one, all of these you can die cut out. So you get so much in there in one set. And you know, it's on page 55, and it's one that they haven't done a huge amount on it, to be quite honest. It's sort of hidden away, but for me it's the standout one of the catalogue. I absolutely love it. So that's in on the mini, page 55. And what we're going to do is, I have taken, and I will show you on here. Okay, so I've taken 2 of the leaves, and we are going to put those round, one on one side, and then we're going to put the other on the other side, because I think that that looks absolutely beautiful like that. Okay, so I can, and this is where I need to work out where I'm going to do it roughly, and then we can put the leaves down first. So this is going to come at the bottom, that's going to come there, and then we've got the number 9. What have I done with that? I've moved that out of the way, haven't I? That's one of those flowers. Oh, how interesting. What have I done with it? You'll probably shout at me saying, oh, it's over there, it's over there. I just put it out of the way, didn't I? So it won't be there it is. It's just got slid in underneath. Okay, so that's going to go there. So what I want to do is I'm going to put these pieces down. So I'm going to stick this one down in on here. I want to make sure that this is coming in on here. This is going to be stuck with dimensionals, and I've got my dimensionals out and ready, and I've done most of the dimensionals on the other things, because as you can see, it is a card which is going to take a little bit of, let me just see this in on here, don't I? I'm just taking it in on the corners because I don't want it in on the center. Okay, so this is going to go straight down on the bottom, and there's a reason why I've done this, and that will become apparent shortly, because I wanted the layers, and we're going to add so many different things to it, because as I say, it's a special birthday card, and it's a card that is not going to be posted. So I'm taking this card around, which means that I don't have to worry about how many layers I put on it, because it's, as I say, it's going to go into, it's going to be taken straight round, so I don't have to worry about, as I say, postage or putting it in careful boxes. Okay, so this is wishing you a magical birthday, and this is going to go down in on the center like that. Then we're going to have, this is the number 9. Now this is taken from the alphabet dies, which are these. Absolutely lovely, because not only do you get your numbers, but you get all your letters too. And they're nice, they're long and thin, which means that you can get lots of words on a card. Normally they tend to be sort of short and fat, which means you can only sort of put, if you're doing a standard size card, you can only put sort of like a 3-word on there. These are much bigger. Now they are, let's go back to our catalogue. I marked it all down so I could let you know. And these are this one. Okay, so they're on page 61 and they're here, the alphabet dies. So there are 52 dies. The largest die 1 9/16 by 15/16, 4 by 2.4 centimeters. Yeah, they're a good size, and they are £40, and you get all of them. You can see on here a couple of examples of just putting, you know, hey bestie on a card. You know, you normally can't with dies put too many things on there because they tend to be too fat. So I've just done a number 9 because she's 9 and it's her 9th birthday. So I'm going to put this one up in on here like that. Okay, and then this one is going to go in on the middle, and I'm not going to put this one down because the element that's going on top of this is going to have dimensionals on, and I don't want everything to be too proud. So that's going to go in on the center. So you can see how it's starting to build up and how the colours are sort of coming together. So now I need to put these in either side. And these are very easy to glue with the Tombow multi-purpose glue because it's got a fine little nozzle. As I've said, it is one of my favourites, and you don't need to put a huge amount on there. You just need to literally sort of work its way down. So I'm just putting a little tiny bit on. It's quite easy to work the nozzle quite gently so that you don't get huge big blobs coming out. It is it's quite easy to do, so don't worry about it. You can use our sticky sheets and just die cut it out on sticky sheets, but you know, I don't mind that at all. So this is going to come this way, and we want that to just stick in on there, and we'll have that to just tuck in underneath on there. Let it relax down, and then that's going to go round on here on the paper. So that's one, and then the other one's going to go the other way up. But you can see how you can start building and using all of the products that you've got together and build up some really pretty cards. You know, I do, I'm very blessed. I have 6 grandchildren. I've got 2 boys and daughter-in-laws, and each of my sons and daughter-in-laws have 3 children. So I have 3 granddaughters and 3 grandsons. Each one of them one has 2 boys and a girl, and the other has 2 girls and a boy. And it is lovely because I get to make 6 cards a year just for birthdays for my grandchildren, and as they grow up, I was showing you the other day one that I'm making for my granddaughter who's will be starting a music college next year in September. So she's got her exams and things now, and then she goes on, and so she's one that I did a card for the other day. They've both got birthdays in January, so by the time you see this, the card will be delivered, so I'm safe. Okay, now we are going to take, now this is the little girl that I was talking about that's here. And all I've done is I've coloured her in blends. So I've coloured her in a combination of the Highland Heather and the, some pinks, a little bit of red for the flower, and just made her a pretty little girl. And that particular granddaughter, she has blonde hair, so I've done blonde hair, but you could do whatever coloured hair, whatever coloured skin tone you want. It just makes a really cute little image. So this one is going to go down in on here. I've put the dimensionals on the back of this one, so this one is really easy, and you can see it makes such a difference when it's cut out with the die. You know, I enjoy fussy cutting, but my goodness, I couldn't fussy cut with the precise border. It actually makes it like a proper little topper and starts to make the card really look perfect for a little girl. Okay, now on to the Dainty Delights again. So we've done the leaves, and do you remember me telling you about the flowers? So I will show you in these dies, because then you can see which ones we have in on here. Those are the little flowers. Now these, you have 4. Let me just take those out so you can see them. I'll put them down on here like that. You have 4. So you have 2 that will work on this half daisy, which we're not using. And these round ones will work on the flat one, which we are using. And I've also taken out these little flowers as well, because that's combining the colours in together. So, you know, I said I was going to bring in the rich raspberry. So I have taken the little flower, the little stamen in the centre, and you can see, or I hope you can see, it's embossed. So not only does it die cut, it embosses as well. So I can put these just in round on here. And I don't know whether I'll use them all. We'll have to see. I think I've done 5 of them. So let's just put one there and one there. I'll put one there. I'll put one down on here. I think they're very beautiful. They're such beautiful little flowers. And then I've got these ones. So I've done these little rows. Well, I don't know whether they're rows or not, but there again, you've got the centres that are embossed. So I'm just going to sort of tuck one in there. I'm trying to build it up fairly symmetrically without being overly you know, too sort of patterned. You want it to be just working quite nicely, but I do kind of like those coming in together. Let's take that one off, and we'll have this one up in this way, I think. That comes there. Now I've got a few little tiny ones here, and I think I'm just going to put those maybe sort of dotted about. Let's have one there, and we'll have one the opposite side about there. So there's a little sort of blank space on there, and I'm putting these ones flat, so we've got some different you know, textural dimension on there. You don't want everything all at the same level, and you don't want everything up on dimensionals. You want a combination of them both, so that then they look quite pretty together. Okay, so that's coming in on here, and then I've just got this tiny little one here, which I think I'm going to do one down on there, and this one can go there. It's just like a little tiny bud, and then another one up in on, let's have it here. Whoops. Like that. Okay, And again, you can do them all in different colours. You can do them however you want. I just wanted it to sort of tone in. So you can see how pretty that is. I don't want to have that one because that's an odd one. So I could do another 2, but I think that that's going to work because the last little element on here is the little squirrel. Now, you've got a squirrel and you've got a bird. Both are absolutely adorable. And I've coloured this one in crumb cake and the pale skin tone. I can't remember which one it is, but put them in together, and I've just done a dark down on one side and a light down on the other, and I've done 3 of them. So I wanted to put one squirrel that side, and I'm going to put the other squirrel that side. And then I've got the 3rd little squirrel, which I might just put I might put him up on there maybe. That goes in on the flower, doesn't it? I'm not sure where. We're going to have these 2 here because I want them, and that's why I did the long rectangular piece. Do you remember me saying I wanted to have this piece as a long rectangular piece? Well, that was the reason behind it, because I wanted to put the squirrel down on here, and the paper is beautiful but is quite busy, so I didn't want the squirrels to get lost. They needed to be behind a background, so I can put this one in like this on here, that one in like that. So those are the 2 squirrels there, and I've got this one squirrel left, which I don't know whether I want to put that there. It's got to be sort of balanced, or I could put it just down here on the 9, but I don't want it to cover the, I think I might just put him there actually. Might have to put another dimensional just in on that piece because it's right up against the side of the words, and I don't want it to be lopsided, so I'm going to stick 4 on here. And I probably should have only had 2 and then put the glue on the other side, but I hadn't quite worked out where I was going to put it, so that's going to come in like that, isn't it? Just on there. Like that. Okay, so there we have it. We've got a really special card with all sorts of elements in that we have used from both the mini and the Saleabration. So you can see how you can mix and match and add things. And I think for a 9-year-old, it's beautiful because you've got floral elements and you've got some, you know, some magical, you know, little animals and things, and a sweet little character in the middle with the gnome. So I think that that makes a really beautiful card. So I hope you enjoyed that, as always. Oh, in fact, one thing, no, before I go, I just thought, now these are flower adhesive backed trinkets, which I've had for, I was actually given them by quite a strange thing. I always get given something at Christmas by my upline, who always gives me things that are retired, but you know, there you go. So I was going to put maybe one of those in the center. I think that that might just add a little bit of, and you could put any sort of gem that you wanted to be quite honest, and it's only because I've got these that I was given that I'm going to use them. Oh look, we've got silver ones in here as well. Don't want the silver, I want the gold. How strange. I can't even remember these. They must have been in, I don't know which catalogue they were in. They could have been quite a long time ago, but as I was given them, I'm going to make use of them, and I'm going to put one of those in the centre of that flower like that. Oh yes, they work quite well. And we'll have one in the centre of there. which just gives a little bit of extra texture in there. That's going to come in on the center of that one. That one can come in on the center of that one, which is perfect. And then I'm going to put, because I've got things in on there, I want to put some other little twinkly bits. And as I say, let's mix and match. So on those ones, I'm going to put some. Now I could put, I'm just looking to see for colours. That's going to work nicely actually. So I'm going to put, these are the basic, the champagne rhinestones. So I'm going to put, and I've got my take your pick tool. So I can take them up with those. And we're going to put one in on the center of that one. And the center of this one, like that. Okay, because you don't have that one because it hasn't got a center, but that I think just finishes it off. It just adds an extra little bit of fun on there. And as I say, put whatever sort of a little twinkly you've got to hand. So again, I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.